Hey, 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 slutty, hey, hey. Of course. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Welcome to Kiki's Corner Talk Show. Hey, 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 hey. Today's subject, hey, is what do I do after cosmetology school? Oh, hey, hey, now that's P. Hey, if you don't know what P is, P stands for player. Hey, 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 slutty, slutty. Hey, hey, I be in the gym. Hey, hey, hey. I be like slutty. Hey, hey. We about to get started with this subject because it is a question that I get all the time. Hey, I'm about to tell you what's on my mind. Hey, hey, about to tell you now. Hey, hey, hey. We about to get it started. Hey, 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 slutty, hey. Let's go. Let's go. Alexa, pause. Hey. Just a little fun before we start the show. Welcome to another episode of Kiki's Corner Talk Show. I am your host and creator, Kiki. And today's subject, I could not wait to touch on this because I get this question a lot from a lot of people who are either in cosmetology school or on the brink of finishing cosmetology school, or those that are cosmetologists, but they're still trying to figure out what to do, okay? So today's subject is, what do you do after cosmetology school? That rhyme, I know. I be thinking because, I used to write rhymes back in the day. But think about it. What do you do after cosmetology school, right? So a lot of people, they're trying to figure out their way. They're trying to figure out what works for them. It can be difficult at times, but sometimes the answer is really right in your face, okay? So let's just paint this picture. You have went to school. You did your 1,500 hours. You are excited. You are on the brink of finishing. Yes, God. You have done whatever you can to get those last little cuts and colors in, because that determines whether you graduate or not. And when you finally get the notice that says you have passed and you have completed 1,500 hours, therefore you are ready to graduate and go to the next step. So what is the next step, right? Well, my dears, I personally have been through this phase. Again, I've been a cosmetologist for 10 years now. Woo! Celebrate me. And I have been in this position where I didn't know what to do, okay? I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to, get answers. I kept bugging my teachers. I bugged them to the point of no return, to where they remember my first and last name. My nickname in school, in cosmetology school, was Worst Behavior. And the reason how I got that name is because when Drake had his album, I used to play Worst Behavior every single day. And I would remember his quotes in the song. So I would go and sing it, and then people would be like, you know what? That's Worst Behavior right there. That's what we're going to call her, Worst Behavior. So that was my nickname all throughout cosmetology school. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Because I was the one that was not afraid to do things that other people were afraid to do. Example, when we were learning about cuts and we were learning to cut men's hair, I can remember some of the students being a little scared to touch the dudes because they felt like they were going to mess them up. But you got to think about it. Cosmetology school is about trial and error, right? So you learn from doing those things. And I already had a son, so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try it and see what happens, because the worst I could do is give somebody a messed up edge up or something. And I didn't know at the time that I was doing pretty good because, I had no idea. But I started to practice and practice and practice. I practiced on my son a couple of times. I practiced on the neighborhood dudes a couple of times. And little did I know, I started getting better and better and better. So, of course, practice makes perfect. So you can't, put yourself in a position where you feel like you can't do something. It's all about trial and error. That's what cosmetology school is. It's about trial and error. What works best for you and what you need to stay away from. Because some people just can't do it all. We all can't do it all. We're either good at something or we're good at one thing, or we just leave it be. Whatever it is something that we need to figure out. So I wrote down some things that I thought would be helpful in your journey and that will make you successful moving forward. So the first thing that you should do is, after you finish and you graduate and you finish your 1,500 hours, you need to register yourself with State Board immediately so that you could take the State Board exam. You need to take the written exam and the practical exam. Now, for those who don't know, let me explain. So the written exam is at least, I think, about maybe 3 to 4, it might be 300 to 400 questions. I know they did kind of change it a little bit because some of the things, were changing as far as like roller sets and pin curls and solutions and stuff like that. So, it's a whole bunch of questions. They asked you about chemistry. They asked you about the skin, the layers of the skin, beneath the dermis. They asked you all of that. They ask you a lot of questions. So from chemistry to hair to to your internal organs. They ask all those questions on the test. You want to make sure that you remember those things. It's keywords that you can use to remember stuff so that okay, this question is talking about this. And it makes it easier for you to remember. When I took the written exam, I passed the first day. I was so shocked because I'm not really good at remembering things. I thought I wasn't, but when I got in there and, prepared myself and took the exam, I passed it on the first try, and I was so nervous too. So that's another thing. Don't be nervous to take the exam. A lot of people, they faint. I've seen somebody pass out. I've seen somebody sweat like mad bullets on their skin. Like, just be regular. It's okay. It is an exam. It's not the end of your life. It is your exam. It is an exam that everybody takes. And, just make sure you're prepared for it. The next exam, which is the practical exam, is the hands-on exam. So with that, you'll be doing like chemical simulation. You'll be using conditioner, just to show them that you can either apply a relaxer in the 4 sections. What else? You do a roller set. They did have pin curls, but they took it out. Thank God, because irritated on pin curls. I'm trying to tell you, I was so irritated on pin curls. So yeah, the practical is more hands-on. And if you're good at the hands-on portion, oh, then you're A1. Still practice though, because state board always changes its rules. Point blank, period. Every year they end up changing stuff or they're adding something new to it. So it's just better to study everything, use everything to the best of your ability, prepare for it so that when you get in there, you will not freeze up. Number one rule, do not drop your stuff and then pick it up. If you drop it, leave it on the floor. I give you an example. A comb. These are the number one things that people mess up on in state board when it comes to the practical. If you drop this comb and you're working on a mannequin, leave it on the floor and continue to get another comb and work on your mannequin. Don't pick that comb up, because two things can happen. Either A, they will kick you out, or B, you will lose points for that. So please do not pick up your comb if you drop it. Another thing is, make sure all your tools are labeled and in Ziploc bags. Very important. State board is basically number one when it comes to sanitation, because they don't play. They want to make sure that nobody is catching nothing. And now that we are in the season of Corona and Omicron and all these other things, they're definitely being extra tough. So please make sure you label your items. Make sure they are clean. Make sure you don't have no hair, nothing in there, because they will be checking. I'm telling you what I know because I have been through this. They will check. I have seen them put a girl out of a room because she had a piece of hair in a roller and she didn't bother to clean it out. They will be searching. So please make sure that all your stuff is labeled and cleaned properly for state board. The next thing is, again, practice the written and the hands-on. Very, very important. Practice both. For the written, they have online tests, so you can actually search written practical for cosmetology state board, and they will have it on there, and you can take practice exams, so that'll help you, so you won't feel like all this is hitting you at once. Because when you take state board, it is very nerve-wracking. People are really in your face and trying to figure out what you're doing and how you're doing it. I remember when I was going through the process, it was not easy. I had my son helping me. I practiced on my friends. I did whatever to make sure I had this information and this practical down pat. Now, in my situation, I passed the written, but the practical, I end up taking 3 times and I passed the 3rd time. So it can happen to anybody. I'm not ashamed. At the end of the day, I got my license and I was like, boop, boop, boop everywhere, especially on social media, okay? Because I remember people would say, oh, you're not going to pass. Oh, this may not be for you. Oh, I don't think that you should go through doing this because it's a waste of time. But little did they know, they really didn't know, because it worked out in my favor. So, shout out to those who said I couldn't do it, but I did. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? On pills, okay? So make sure that you continue to practice, because again, practice makes perfect. A next thing that I wanted to say too is make sure you get a good, I think you're gonna need 4. You might need 4 or 3. 3 at the latest. I took 2, but you might need I know you're definitely gonna need a textured mannequin. I know that for sure, because now they have things in place to where, they might want to see the difference between straight hair versus our hair. So make sure you have 2 good mannequins. Don't bring mannequins that are mocked up, have ink on there, you colored them, you put lipstick on it. Don't bring those mannequins, because again, that takes points off of state board. You don't want that. You want a nice, new, brand new, clean mannequin that you never used before. Make sure you prepare the hair the day before and not while you're doing state board, because they do require that their hair is either chemically relaxed, or they just want it like just bone straight. So make sure you prepare earlier for that. That is definitely the truth. I'm gonna tell you that, because you could lose points if you don't prepare your mannequin the day before. Another thing is to make a decision if you want to be independent or you want to work for someone. Now, there's a difference between going independent and working under someone. When you're independent, that means you're one-on-one by yourself. You don't have nobody. You are doing this from the bottom going up by yourself. If you are working for someone, they're basically taking care of the ground zero work for you. And you're just doing the other stuff as far as getting your own clients, or, you might be deciding, if a person is doing the marketing for you. Like, you have definitely range to make a decision on which one is best for you. When I first started, it was better for me to work under someone so that I can see how things are being run and how things are being done in a salon setting. Because when you're out there on the floor, it's a different story. It's not the same. Basically, your clients, they come in because they sign a book and they're already there, and then you're just chosen. So no one is saying, oh, I want this person, or I want that person, or I want this specific person. It doesn't work like that in cosmetology school, because whoever opened and whoever's first picked, that's who the person is going to. So you have to make that decision on whether or not it's good for you to be independent or to work for someone. But for me, when I first started, I worked for people. I thought that would be better for me, because I was learning how people operate, and I was learning the business, and I was learning how people actually did things. So it worked in my favor. So you have to make that decision. But once you do pass your state board and you do get your license, now this is where the fun part is, because now you have to look at places to see where you can actually get extra training. Now, I'm here to tell you, all those things that you learned in cosmetology school, you're not going to be using them in the salon. Good example. When I was in cosmetology school, that clinical form sheet that you're supposed to write the person's name and what things they're allergic to, or what things they have going on in their system. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be using that, because most salons don't use it, especially salons that already have their type of thing going on. You're not going to be using it at all. So it's something that, yes, you have to get adjusted to. I know for me, myself speaking, I had to get adjusted to stuff like that, because I was so used to doing everything by the book. And 9 times out of 10, sometimes the book is not right. Sometimes you just gotta use common sense just to figure stuff out. And it makes it, again, easier and less pressure off of you, because you're in there and you're trying to figure out stuff, and you're like, dad, but in cosmetology school, we did this and that and this and that. But they're not going to be doing it that way. They're going to show you an easier and quicker way to do things, so that you're not sitting there trying to rot your brain all day, which is very important. So I'm just here to tell you, you're not going to be using that stuff, because that's what I did. Make sure you take hands-on classes. The reason why I say that is because when you come out of cosmetology school and you have the basics, because that's what it is, that's the basics, you want to get extra training under your belt, because people offer different services and people want different things. So for example, let's say you did wigs and you did weaves while you was in school or whatever, and you've done so well on that now you want to bump up to different things. So you want to do tape and extensions, you would take a class. You want to do micro locks, you would take a class. You want to do sister locks, you would take a class. All those classes just put more under your belt and puts more on your license. So when you get ready to renew your license, you don't need so much continuing education points because you already had them from taking the classes. Also, make sure that any class that you take, they do give you your credit, because if they don't report that to state board, that's a violation on them and they can get in trouble for it. So make sure anytime you take a class that they make sure that they put that in your record to make sure you was there and that you attended the class on time, because that's important. Okay. Another thing is attend a hair show. I can't stress this enough. When we was in cosmetology school, we did our own hair shows, but it's nothing like going to a real hair show. I'm trying to tell you, the excitement is amazing. It's off the chain. It's P. It's P. Okay, P stands for player. It's P. I went to an influence hair show, and I was so excited because the models, the hair color, the cuts, everything just came alive, and it was amazing to see. They were doing demonstrations on stage that, you can take notes, you can take pictures with the models, you can talk to the instructors. Like, it was really, really informative and really good. So please make sure you attend a hair show. That is so important. And make sure you learn about the product that you're going to see at the hair show, because those products, they have a lot of things in them. And if you decide to use them and you don't know nothing about it, you kind of setting yourself up for failure. So make sure you do your research before you go to the show. Make sure you know who's the key speakers, the key announcers. Make sure you know what key products they're going to be using, because that is going to definitely help you in your career if you decide to stay with that brand. Of course, you can branch out and use other brands as well, but it depends on what type of hair that you deal with the most and what you feel most comfortable with. Okay. Number 6, update your kit and attire. Make sure you update your kit and attire. The reason why I say that is because the things that we got in our kit in cosmetology school, some of that stuff we use, but that's just to start you off. You want to update things that that you use on a daily basis, because again, needs of people change and things and situations happen. So you need to update your kit. Every year you should have a new flat iron. I change mine about every 6 months. Make sure you have new flat iron. Make sure you have combs, clips. Make sure you have an apron for yourself, apron for your client. Make sure you have towels. These are things that you need to update and keep that together, because again, sanitation is everything. We are still in COVID, and you want to make sure that you have everything together for your client. It is very important. Update your kit. As far as your attire, make sure you look professional, okay? Nobody wants to come to a hairstylist with shorts or a skirt up their tail. Make sure you look presentable, because at the end of the day, you are a business card. You are a billboard for your business or the person that you are working for. This is what you do, and this is what you love. If you enjoy it as much as you do, take pride in how you look. You don't have to do your face every day, but look like you have a business. It's very important. Clients look at you. The number one thing that clients say that they don't like about their hairstylist is the way that she is dressed and the way that her face looks and her hair. Make sure all that is put together, because it is a brand. When you see me looking like this. This is how you see me, okay? You see me looking like this. You see me ready to take a picture. You see me. This is how I look for my clients. Sometimes I may not do makeup, but best believe the clothes is going to be together and that hair is going to be done. Point blank, period. Anybody know me, they know that. I am not walking out the house looking like a hot mess. You will never catch me. So make sure that you look like a business person, because how you look attracts money. But if you don't look like money, you're pushing money to the other side for somebody else to get. Okay? Promote yourself. Because guess what? You're going to have to promote. Point blank, period. You're going to have to get out here and promote yourself. It doesn't matter whether you work for somebody or not, because a salon can promote you all day. But what about those times where your salon is not open and it's clients that's just walking past you, just regular people? Promote yourself. It's so easy. It's not hard. If you have business cards, make sure you have business cards. Even your mouthpiece, you talking and being friendly to people is a business card. So make sure that you are prepared and ready to talk to people if you're friendly. Now, if you're not and you're like scared and you feel like maybe the person might say no, like, no, thank you, I'm busy. No, thank you, I can't. Then, it's not going to hurt you to try, because every person that said no, there's a yes for every person that said no. So keep trying, put yourself out there. It's not going to hurt you. Don't be nervous. Again, we're all human. If somebody says no, the next person is going to say yes. Present it in a way where you would want somebody to come to you with the product and you would be so into it. If you see something and you're like, oh, wow, I wonder would that work for me? Use the same tactic that they use, but just in your own words, and make it feel like you. Don't do something that's not you, because it's not going to feel right, and it's not going to look right. Be yourself. This is very important. And this is so important too. Keep a list of all the clients that you have done in cosmetology school. Bow. Can't say that enough. The reason why is because that is your starter point for you to build your clientele. I learned that the hard way, because when I was getting out, I was just like, I'm going to get these people, I'm going to get these people, I'm going to get these people. But it's so much easier to just go through the list of people that you have done hair for and call those people and tell them, hey, I'm in a salon now, or hey, I'm on my own. Don't forget me. Here's, 20% coupon, or here's a promotion to come and see me. Like, you'll be able to do those things. So make sure you have those people's numbers and email addresses, because that's so important. If you don't have it, you can always ask your school counselor. She'll have it and she can email it to you. That is their job, because they're supposed to help you. Another thing too is to always send thank you notes to your clients. Clients love to be appreciated. And if you don't say thank you after they spent their hard money coming to you, you're going to lose those clients, okay? So make sure you reach out to your clients. Make sure you say thank you. It could be a happy birthday. It could be Merry Christmas, Happy Valentine's Day, Happy Thanksgiving. Reach out to your clients, because you're supposed to treat them like family. They're not your blood, but you're supposed to treat them like family, because at the end of the day, they're helping you get to your next goal, which is to be a successful hair stylist. You want to be on a platform, sitting up there in front of millions of people cutting and styling hair. Yes, those are the goals that you want. But in order to do that, you have to really be appreciative of your clients. So make sure you say a thank you or a text or anything, just to let them know that you do care about them, because they have lives outside of the salon just like you do. Okay? Every year, make sure you update your skills. What I mean by that is make sure you are learning something that is profitable to yourself or to where you are working. So for example, you are learning how to do tape-ins. You have taken a class and you're studying to become a master at it. You have done color and now you want to be a colorist, and now you want to be a master colorist. Make sure you invest in these classes, because again, they're for you to be successful. You don't want to take a class that you're not interested in, because you're wasting your money and you're wasting your time. Mind you, classes are very expensive. They are not cheap. Even if you have a license, you might get like a little bit of percentage off. But other than that, it is very expensive. So make sure you are updating a skill every year. For myself, I always try to update my braiding skills because that is one of the number one services that is requested by me. So I always try to make sure that I do stuff that is properly maintained, properly, done and executed to the best of my ability so that my clients can feel like they're A1 when they walk out from me, because they are my promotion, they are my walking billboard, and they are my money. So make sure that you are updating your skills. And then the last and certainly not least, the most important one, please, if you don't have a resume, make sure you have a cosmetology resume and a professional photo. I'll tell you why. Because people will look you up and see what skills and what things that you have attained during being a cosmetologist. People want to know, okay, is this person really professional? Can I trust this person? Is this person willing to learn and get along with people? Make sure you have that stuff updated every time that you get something new. So one of the things that I acquired last year and the year before last was my medical certificates. So I made sure I put that on my resume because it's important to have that stuff. You don't know if somebody wants to ask you to do a wedding or ask you to do someone's birthday party, anything. Make sure you have that, and make sure you have a professional picture because it tells a lot about who you are. It tells a lot whether you are able to learn, if you're professional, if you know how to handle people properly, and if you know how to take care of yourself, because a lot of people, they look at pictures. 1,000 words is through those pictures, okay? So if your picture looks a hot mess, they gonna say, I don't want this person because this person doesn't even look good in their photo. They don't know how to take a picture. So make sure you update your resume and your professional photo every time that you're ready to adventure out into the new world of cosmetology. But I do my professional photos every year. I take mine once a year because, of course, things change. And, if you acquire a lot of classes, then you need to look like you acquired those classes and that you've done well in every single one of them. So make sure you do that yearly. Okay? And bow, that is the end of my show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I thank you so much. And Kiki's Corner is about to be out the door. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because I will be having more and more things going on and more subjects to talk about. And check this, I will be giving a giveaway. I will, but I gotta reach a certain amount of subscribers first. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see y'all next week. Peace.